Bonjour les amis, it is your friendly Facebook French teacher here. And today I want to give you a little glimpse at how I teach vocabulary. So we are going to do a very simple, quick vocabulary lesson on one vocabulary word today. Just a quick overview. We're going to learn what a canard is. So before we do that, I want to talk to you for just a second about the science behind second language acquisition. So I want you to think about this. The way that we learn language as babies is we spend a year or more listening and imitating sounds. That's all we do. And then when we start to produce language, it's usually one or two words at a time. Very slow process of learning language. And then the more that those language connections in the brain are made, the more we can speak and the more we can communicate. So I want you to think about learning to speak as a child takes a really, really long time. Now we're kind of in this era where when we learn a second language, we want to speak and we want to communicate immediately in that language. But the science behind how our brains acquire language doesn't support immediate production. So my method really, really helps us learn language the way that our brains are designed to learn language. The other thing that you should know about the way that the brain acquires language is that by the time we're about between 8 and 10 years old, the language part of the brain, the language center in the brain, which is the only part of the brain that does this, closes off. It solidifies those circuits and connections. And so it is much harder to learn a second language later after the age, between the age of 8 and 12. So we have to learn language. We have to trick our brains into opening those circuits and making those connections again. Okay, so my method, we do a lot of really silly things that really help those connections in the brain open up. Now, the reason why translation methods don't work is because those connections in the brain, when you translate a word for a word or a sentence for a sentence, it's not actually opening connections. It's using your first language to speak the second language. It's not actually helping your brain be receptive to the new language. And that's what we want when we learn a new language, when we want to become fluent, when we want to communicate in a new language. We want our brains to receive that language and stay there, right? So I'm going to teach you a really quick, really fun little vocabulary lesson. Like I said, I'm going to teach you one word. And the word that I'm going to teach you is un canard, okay? So what is un canard? So the first thing that we do when I'm teaching a vocabulary lesson is we say the word. Then we make a gesture of the word. Then we draw a picture of the word. Then we sing the word. And all of these things help us feel the language with all of our senses. Okay, so here we go. We're going to say, un canard, quack, quack, un canard, quack, quack, un canard, quack, quack, un canard, quack, quack. Look what I have here. This is my friend Ferdinand. Ferdinand is un canard, quack, quack, un canard, quack, quack, un canard, quack, quack, un canard, quack, quack. The point of saying the word in a rhythmic fashion, making this hand gesture, or seeing the word. I don't have my pictures up right now, so we're using Ferdinand because you can see he's un canard, right? Seeing a picture of the word. We're not using translation, but we're making those connections in the brain so that we can understand that Ferdinand is un canard. Quack, quack. So the next thing that I would do, and we would do this very systematically in a class, is we do what I call la danse des canards. Has anybody seen la danse des canards before? This is one that my students love. Let's do it together. La danse des canards. Now, in English, this has been translated to a different animal, but in France, it's la danse des canards. Are you ready for this? Here we go.
C'est la danse des canards qui, en sortant de la main, se secouent le bas des reins et font coin coin. Et comme les petits canards, qui pour que tout le monde se marre, remuer du popotin en faisant coin coin. À présent, claquer du bec en secouant vos plumes avec beaucoup plus d'entrain et des coin coin. Allez, mettez-en un coup, on s'amuse comme des petits fous. Maintenant, pliez les genoux, redressez-vous. Tournez sur la fête. Par-dessus, dessous, comme les girouettes, c'est super chouette, c'est extra fou. C'est la danse des canards, les gamins comme les loupards vont danser.
All right, so I'm not going to do the whole thing for you today, but that's just an example of how I would teach the word canard, and hopefully everybody now knows what the word canard means. This is my friend Ferdinand le canard. Ferdinand le canard. Merci beaucoup for everyone who was watching this little video. Please like and share. I would love for this to go around. My next video is going to be about how I teach a verb. Okay, so have a great Friday, a great weekend. Bon week-end. Et à la prochaine. Au revoir.